This has been in the making, right? I listened to you speak at the Forever Living Experience in February. And so that's way before the pandemic even started. And I wanted to, invite you on here just to share with us your story, your journey, and your experience. So just give us like a background of who you are and what you have been doing.
Sure. Well, for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Oliver Lepke. I was born in Germany, but I grew up in former Yugoslavia. So there was a country Yugoslavia, and then in early 1990s, a war started in that area, and I was living in a part it's called Bosnia. And literally, civil war started, and it was, to be honest, it was terrible. It was ridiculous that it had to happen that way. Um, a lot of people died, and it was a terrible situation. I was 17 at the time, and I got an order to go to the army. And to be honest, I didn't like that idea because if I went to the army, I would literally had to fight my neighbors just
Yes.
because they're different religion, and it didn't make any sense whatsoever. So I fled the country. I left from there. I went to Germany, and when I came there, I didn't speak any German language. So I was 17 at the time, and started to learn German. Started to work. It's you have to live. So
Yeah.
Germany accepted us as a refugees at the for the time being, and then when the war ended, they wanted to send us back. And in that case, I didn't like that idea to go back to a country that's been ripped and that's been devastated, and that's just poor and so on. um, it took many years to recover. I don't think they have recovered yet, even after so many years, after 30 years. But I didn't like to go back, and I started to look for different ways and different opportunities to go somewhere else. And Canada at the time was accepting refugees from former Yugoslavia, and I submitted my application through help of my friends, and that's how I came here to North America. So I came
Okay.
here as a refugee, as an immigrant. I didn't speak English when I came here. I didn't speak any English. Um, I didn't. My parents stayed back behind. My mom stayed in Bosnia. My father passed away even much earlier, when I was 12 years old. So I come here to Canada. Obviously you don't know almost anybody. Lucky for me, I had an uncle here who paid my first rent at the time, and then many other great people donated like furniture and things like that. All this situation, not speaking English, having these hard jobs that I have to do. I
Yes.
promised myself, I promised myself that I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna learn the language, and I will not be poor ever again.
Yes.
So, and not only that, but I also promised myself that I will help many other people who helped me, just like they were helping me. So it was tough, working these tough jobs, and I remember buying the food, just necessary things to survive, and eating tuna fish all the time. that's that's why I hate tuna fish. But uh, I went back to school. I got my computer science degree. I learned the language, and I started working. And I started working. I worked in IT field for 5 6 years,
Yes.
and just to realize that in spite all that, being educated now and have a good job, I was kind of behind on my bills, and I was still not able to help others and live well.
Yes.
So I looked for other opportunities. I looked for many different things. I looked like things that I could do online, like eBay, Amazon businesses, investments, stocks, and all these things. And some of them were great, but they required a lot of capital, a lot of money to
Money to
invest,
invest in. Yeah.
which I didn't have, right? So I came across a company that looked like an amazing opportunity in network marketing. And the way I understood it, I never heard about network marketing before, but how I understood it is that you can't become successful unless you help many other people become successful. And I kind of like that because it's all kind of in my nature to help others, because many people helped me in the
Help you.
process
Yeah.
and wanted to give back. And I kind of saw that as an opportunity for me to move forward, to get, well, and then be able to help others. And the
Yes.
way I looked and understand all the products and what they had, and then I combined that business, which was scalable. I combined that together with my experience of IT and online knowledge, and put it together. And I created almost like a system, almost like a business concept, and started working. Didn't know much about health and wellness, but I was determined to learn, and I was learning that and then putting all together. And little by little, I was able to, first become manager and then become senior manager, sorting manager, eagle manager 4 times in a year, in a row, as you know, and things like that. So, uh, the great thing, Annakay, is about right now is that people who are interested and who are willing to learn and work, they can reach that success much quicker
Yeah.
because of things that we put together, learned, and now we have a system that we can help people with that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my story and background, and that's how I came about to
Give
be
it
here,
back.
and
It's
be able to speak on the stage when
yeah.
when you were there.
In forever living. But you see, the we have to challenge your story, because every single person, every one of us, we have a story that has led us or inspire us or motivate us to be where we are right now. It's because of the past experiences that we had that can help us to push forward and help us not to give up, because we know the struggle that we experienced before, and the reason why we have this why, and the reason why we're pushing towards this end goal. So I, was scrolling through your Facebook, and I saw one of your videos that you were sharing. You talked about trust the process, but be careful who you trust. Can you explain a little bit, or I mean, like, do a synopsis of what do you really mean about that? Because many times as we go through life, we want to find the right people to be around us, but sometimes we can't trust every single person. So how do we go about making sure that we're doing the right thing?
Yeah, so relationships are very important, and a lot of times people will kind of want you to do something that's best for them, not necessarily for you,
Yeah.
so um, and so there are two lessons in that video. One of them is kind of direct, which means trust the process. And what I really meant by that is, you know a lot of people are starting to do something and they are expecting the results right away, and then if they don't get the results, they get upset,
Yes.
right? So uh, but when they have a person who they can trust, a person who has already done certain things, and this person being a mentor or coach, and this person tells them, uh, don't expect the results right away. You have to keep going and keep doing this and trust the process. So trust the process, meaning do the work, do the work, do the work, and results will come. If you just do the work and expect the results right away, then that's not trusting the process. That's expecting the results without, just based on your maybe previous experience, or maybe based on your expect some kind of expectation that you heard about or learned about, but not necessarily true. So when you have a mentor or somebody who has already played the game, like many coaches, for example, in basketball, in soccer, any sport,
Yeah.
these coaches who are coaching, they have been coached and they played the game. They know what it takes, and they know that it takes time, that you need to do certain things regularly, um, on regular basis
Consistently.
and consistently. And if you stop, it's almost like starting from the beginning. So keep going, keep going, keep going, meaning
Yes.
trust the process, focus on the process, and the results will come as long as you're doing the right results. And how do you know? if you're doing the right the results, and that is you would know only if you trust the person who's telling you to do that, and you can trust the person if that person has had the results, has the results, had the results already because they know, because they've done it.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of people who are kind of trying to be a coach or a mentor or somebody, and they're trying to teach something that they haven't been become yet. It doesn't work that way. Like, uh, just to give you an example, in a forever living company, first you become assistant supervisor because you help somebody else, and
Yes.
then second you become supervisor, and then you know how easy or how hard it is to become a supervisor, so you can help somebody else become a
Yes.
supervisor. You can't help them become manager yet, because if you're not manager yet,
Yeah.
first teach them what you know.
You
So
have
I
to
know it's a
take it.
long, yeah, it's a long answer to a simple question, but those are the details and bits and bytes of it.
And those are good details because indeed you have to trust the process. Many times we see someone who is well established, and we haven't seen the journey that they have taken. We haven't seen the struggles that they have gone through, and we think, okay, let me be like that person. But we don't understand maybe the many nights they had to stay awake just to make sure that everything is good to go. And so we see the end results, and we don't see, the downfall
Mhm.
before the previous mess up that they had.
Yeah, the challenges and
Yeah.
what you need to go through and be consistent for those X amount of days to actually
Yes.
reach the goal. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely, absolutely.
So, what is your why, and what is driving you right now to, be the best person you can be?
Yes. So, my why changes kind of when I started. Since you're talking about network marketing business and
Yes.
business in general and forever living and so on. When I started, my why was, to help few other people, but also was just to earn $1,000. That was my, it's I told myself, you know what? I don't know this business well. I like what I see, but if I can make $1,000, I'm gonna be happy. And that was my why at the beginning. And I was not interested in 5,000 or making big money, 10, $15,000. I was just interested in 1,000 because that was my immediate need at the time.
Yeah.
Right? So once that happened, so that was probably my driving force at the beginning. And then I said, well, now we're making 1,000. It would be nice if we could make 2,000. Once you hit that, and I said, I see other people are making five or more. Wow, $5,000 a month. That would be amazing. So he set that as a goal, which was like driving force and so on, and then 10, and then more. You know, uh, it is a driving force, but not necessarily the main thing.
Hmm.
And the main thing is, now my history and my challenges, and then I grew up without a father because he passed away when I was 12, and even when I was younger, he was sick and almost like not having a father because he was just very sick. And so my driving force is to be able to be a father and be healthy and be around my kids and give them, you know, um, joy of growing up healthy and normal, and having that support that I didn't have. And that's number one, being healthy, and number two, then providing for the family and give them everything, create an environment so they can grow and reach their goals and their potential, whatever interests them, right?
Yeah.
But to be there for them, and so that we can spend time together and travel and so on, and with this create something that would be an ideal environment for many other people similar to me or like me, so that I can help them as well,
As well. Yes.
which is
And how have you cultivated a structure in business, in your life, in your personal life, and in your business life? So how have you cultivated that structure that you separate the business from your personal life, or do you intertwine both business and personal life into it?
Yeah, the way I work, it is so connected together because the, what I do is I enjoy it so much. So it's really this fine line. Okay, is this really a business? Because I like what I do, and I didn't do much. I feel like I'm not like working necessarily much
Yeah.
because I have fun. It's very often meeting people and sharing things that I like and helping them, and then
Yes.
then having fun together with them, traveling together with them. So it's really, really like so intertwined and in such a one piece together a lot of the time, most of the time actually, when it comes to work is like that. And when you find yourself that you enjoy what you do, it's really questionable. Now, is this like work? Because traditionally work is you go to work, you punch the clock, you work hard, you get tired working, you punch the clock, you go home to relax and spend time with the family.
Yes, that's true.
In my life, in my work now, in my career, is it's quite different. So it's very interconnected, and it's fun. It's fun.
And how is the legacy? How is leaving that legacy behind for your kids?
Oh, I
How
love
how
that. Yes.
important it is?
Yeah. Thank you for asking me that question, because you see, with Forever Living, that is a wonderful part of the legacy, because the business that I create and the people that I help all together, it's almost automatically. But I mean, you write a will, you create a will, but you can pass that um, big business that you create or small business that you create, depends what how big a business you create. You can
Yes.
pass that to your kids so they can enjoy as well. I mean, they would also need to continue to work a little bit and support that business, but they can enjoy the organization and the business that is built, which is really amazing. I love that about our company, that they put that into the business, into the place, so that it's available, so that children can inherit it per se,
You.
and then
Yeah.
benefit from our work that we put together.
Yeah. Because many times what happened is that you know, for the generation previously behind us, we complain and we say, hey, they did not leave anything for us, and having this company here that is setting you up just to leave a legacy behind for your kids is very great,
Mhm.
very great. 2020, as kind of impacted some of us in many ways, different ways, and some of us, it impacted us to either strengthen our business, to connect more with people. What would you say is one of the takeaways from 2020 for you?
So I posted kind of a similar question on my Facebook and asking others as well, and I see that a lot of people are committing that, you know, take nothing for granted and just enjoy everything that you have and fully enjoy, and which is a gratitude, which is something that we already have.
Yes.
Enjoy that, because we don't know how valuable that is. A simple thing, these simple things and basic things, like being healthy and being free and having freedom to go to travel, and we don't know how important that is until it's taken away from us.
Yes.
So I think that 2020 was designed to teach us that lesson really well. And I'm pretty sure that this is good in 2021. That's going to be resolved, and people will kind of get back to normal with more appreciation for things that they have, and will be able to enjoy it more.
Did you or do you think that 2020 was the year for a lot of people to realize that having a second income flow is kind of necessary, or do you think a lot of people are still like in their shell and saying, "Hey, I'm not going to do a second on the side job or a networking job or anything like that."
Yep. Good question. Yeah, I think that a lot of people, for many people, that was an eye opener. I mean, we've been kind of preaching that idea to for a long time, but until you get hit by something else, you don't realize that this is really crucial and important. So it was it was a time that kind of was a little bit tricky, but when you come from your from heart, then it's totally understandable. And what I mean by that is, somebody loses a job and having a hard time, and now you're trying to help them with your business, and naturally they would think, oh, okay, you want to kind of sponsor me, into the business, and but I don't have any money to get started, and that kind of thing. And but when you come from your heart, and when your pure intention is to help, then they will actually get it, and understand that your real point of why you're trying to do that. Some people will do that, some people won't, just like before. But probably more than ever, like this year, that this was a big lesson for many people, because many people had almost like guaranteed jobs that they lost practically overnight.
Yep.
And that was a good message for them to realize that nothing is guaranteed. I mean, absolutely nothing. No business, even our business, or not our health, our life. Nothing is guaranteed. The only thing is, I think, is guaranteed that one day we're going to leave this life, one way or another, sooner or later. Hopefully later than sooner, and hopefully in a great health. But everything else, uh, nothing is guaranteed.
Nothing is guaranteed. And I guess that's why, as the saying say, you live every single day like it's your last day, because you
Yeah.
never know what's going to happen the next day and the next day, because, anything could happen. So, how can you share with someone, or, tell someone how they could, pivot from 2020 to 21? So, to 2021. So, if they are, they just started out in network marketing right now, and they want to continue, but they're maybe kind of feeling a little down right now. So how could you, share with them how they could pivot from 2020 to 2021?
Yeah. To be honest, I think 2021 will be the biggest opportunity ever, because so many people will not return back to work.
Yeah.
Some of them, they're temporarily at home, and many of them will be let go. For many of them, government is currently helping them, but that can only go so far. And then once the COVID situation is behind, some people will might still be receiving some kind of help, but many people will be left without work, and many people will be looking for a way to work something from home, something different, something new. And network marketing is will be a solution for many people, if they want to. So for anybody who is in network marketing, who wants to grow the business, all you would have to do is to make a commitment and treat it seriously. Take it seriously, treat it seriously like a business, work on it continuously without breaks. And you can slow down sometimes. Sometimes we all have our tough times, or sick days, and
Yeah.
things like that. But as we say, touch your business every day and do something instead of just stopping. As soon as you stop, that stop turns to from one day to few days, from few days to few weeks. And I can almost guarantee you have to start almost like from the beginning. So keep going, keep going, keep going. Even if your worst days do a little bit, but if things are normal, make a commitment, and stick to it, and treat it as a business. Create a schedule, or something that you call DMO, which is a daily method of operation, and then do those things that you need to do in order to continuously grow, right?
Yes.
So, and if you do that, I can almost guarantee you your 2021, or I mean, when I say yours, I don't mean necessarily
Yeah.
particularly yours, but our guests who are listening, whoever is watching, is I can almost guarantee you, if you commit, then 2021 is such a big potential. Make a commitment to rock it, and you will see great results.
Awesome. And so the last thing I wanted to ask you before, we end this, it's so great, talking with you and speaking with you. How important is planning towards success? Because, many, as you said that, someone started on network marketing and they think, okay, overnight, things are gonna, start happening like that. But there is a planning period in it. So how important is it towards getting to success?
Most likely, if you don't plan it, it's not going to happen. And I had another video about that, and I'm not sure if I have a list of things. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I was just creating a video
Oh.
where I and this happened by accident. There's a list of about 10 people here that I wanted to do this summer. And I kind of took one sheet of paper, and I kind of, I wrote down these things that I would like to do, that I would like to go, things to go with my family and visit places, and just mostly local and mostly small things.
Yes.
And I wrote this list, and I said, oh, okay. Or if I come across something on Facebook, then I would say, oh, this is really cool, I want to go there. So I would grab that and put it on this list, right? And I was not planning it at all, but subconsciously that was a plan, right? So I put it on a piece of paper, and this piece of paper became like a plan of things that I want to do, almost like a goal for this summer. And then what was happening, Annakay, was it was like this, weekend is coming, it's Friday, and what are we gonna do? And I would always come to this list. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, we didn't go to Toronto Central Island. Oh, we didn't go to Peninsula Ridge. We didn't go to Blue Mountains. And
Yes.
then I would kind of, okay, now, oh yeah, let's go there. Let's go there. So I would take my family and we would go there. And 8 out of 10 things, we have actually all done them. And if I
Awesome.
didn't put this on this piece of paper, I can almost guarantee you maybe we would go to one or two places, and that would be all. So somehow, subconsciously, or not without planning, I created the plan of things that we wanted to do this summer. And that's what I would suggest for other people. If you don't create a plan, most likely it will not happen. But if you do create a plan, if you put it on paper, the things that you would like to do, uh, again, probably 70-80% of the time, you will most likely achieve those things that you want them. Um, and then if you want to take it step further, then you can think about those things and take a look at some photos, some videos about those things, so that's gonna create some emotional connection with that planning, and start planning the details how you're gonna do that. And again, I can almost guarantee you that those things will become reality. So planning is crucial. And just using this simple example, honestly, I was not planning it. I didn't know you're gonna talk about these things, but that's truth. That's what it is.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And having, the paper right there just to show us that, you had your plans. And the important thing was that you write it down. That's the
That is
important
the
thing.
important thing.
Because I think many of us, we have these plans and we have them up here, floating around like, I want to do this, I want to do that. But then we don't write them down. So they're up there floating, and sometimes you're like, oh wait, I remember I have this, but then you don't remember because then you didn't write it down. You didn't have it on notes on paper saying, hey, I'm going to get this done. And so, yeah, thank you so much for joining the podcast. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I really and truly enjoyed um, talking with you, listening to you. And I have taken away from this episode today that, in order for us to get towards success or go towards success, we have to stay on track. We have to stay with the process. It's not going to be quick, it's not going to be overnight, but, one day at a time, it's going to lead us there to where we're trying to go. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Annakay. Thank you for having me. And this was fun for me as well. So I also learned a few things from you, which is fantastic. And yeah, I look forward to do this again sometimes. Thank you so
I
much.
look forward to doing it again too. Thank you so much. Bye.
All right. Bye bye.